Now, if you click on this video, then you want to know what is the biggest problem with investing into Melbourne in 2025, right? And that is mainly because you're considering investing into Melbourne in 2025. So I'm going to break it down for you. And I've made videos previously on Melbourne back in November, about 5 months ago, and another video about 3 months ago, actually explaining what are the best locations to consider investing into Melbourne in the $600,000 to $800,000 price range. And since then, we have seen an abundant amount of new videos, buyers agents, and mortgage brokers all talking about Melbourne and the best locations to invest into. But there is one major issue that is not being talked about, and I'm going to break it down for you. But just before I get into it any further, the Property Blueprint Education Program is now released. It's an absolute no-brainer for you guys to go join and buy the course because it will help you decide which locations to invest into, the right strategies for you to consider, as well as access to the private community for the next 6 months, which is worth absolute gold, right? So it is $299, and I'm still going to keep it the pre-order price for the next 24 hours, and it is released so you can get direct access straight away. And if you have any questions at all, leave it in the comments below or ask it in the community, right? But it is now released, so make sure you go order it and make sure you get yourself educated, because this one investment can save you tens of thousands of dollars and could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So make sure you jump into the Property Blueprint Education Program and the private community. Just to quickly recap about which locations are best to invest into Melbourne in 2025, these include Carrum Downs and the Frankston area, which is really picking up some steam and some activity and becoming very popular to invest into. You've also got the North Melbourne area, so places like Dallas, Meadow Heights, Coolaroo. This whole section in this pocket here is becoming more and more popular, becoming more heated to consider buying into, as well as St. Albans and Deer Park, which is also picking up some steam with more owner-occupier living there and purchasing there, as well as buyers, agents, and investors. So these locations are all picking up. Now, there are some pockets in West Melbourne as well, but we're still waiting to see a bit more better data before jumping into these locations. But that's a very quick recap, and I just wanted to give it to you guys. If you want to see the full breakdown of these locations and the data, make sure you go check out my previous 2 videos that I've done. They are very detailed. But what is the actual issue with Melbourne in 2025? Well, I'm going to let you know. And that has to do with cash flow. For some reason, no buyer's agents, no mortgage brokers, or anyone on YouTube seems to actually talk about the biggest caveat with Melbourne, which is cash flow. Now, of course, capital growth is our goal. That is our aim. But to have capital growth, we need to be able to hold the property for a long enough time in a sustainable manner to actually acquire that capital growth. And cash flow is never discussed in these conversations, which is really disappointing to see, because some of these BAs and these YouTubers, they're very big people. And I don't know why they don't talk about it more, because that is a reality. For example, if I have a look at St. Albans, now I've just taken this property as an example. You can do this yourself, right? This one is selling for $640,000 to $660,000. In Melbourne, sales agents are extremely notorious for underquoting the prices, but let's just say, for example, it's going to fall smack bang in the middle of $650,000. $650,000, that's a deposit if you're on 12%, about $78K. Plus, you need all the other costs associated with it. So that's stamp duty, legal fee, settlement fee, building and pest inspection, which is actually a little bit more, to be honest, $880, I would say. There's cleaning costs, there's registration fees, initial renovation work. It's all up going to cost you about $120,000 to purchase a $650,000 property in Victoria at a 12% deposit. At 20%, that's going to bring it up to about $170,000. Not a lot of people have that sort of money, so let's just assume we're working with 12%. That's just the acquiring part of it. But then we actually have to look at the cash flow side of things. Can we hold this property? Now, all we have to do is look at the filters. I've just put St. Albans filters. I put house, bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms, and we can start looking through the properties. So this one is a 3x2x2. This is a 4x2, so $700 per week rent. Okay, this one is a 3x2x2, $510. This is another 3x2 in St. Albans, another $500. 3x2 house, looks like a townhouse to me, $530. 3x2, $550. 4x2, I don't know why that's $500. That seems ridiculous when this one is $700, but there must be something there. So realistically speaking, we can expect anywhere from about $520 to $550. So if we put $550 on the lower side and we account for all the expenses, we get about a 4% yield, and our total cash flow per year is negative $21,000, and then monthly negative $1,700. Now, there's a caveat here. I have not accounted for depreciation calculations as well as your tax refund at the end of the financial year. But the reason I don't do that is because what I want to show you, at the end of the day, before you get your tax refund, monthly, you will have to stomach about a negative $1,700 loss on your property every single month, right? This will impact your lifestyle. It will be the difference between taking out your family for a nice dinner or possibly going for that holiday or that road trip, right? That is the reality. It's around $1,700. And if we put a better case scenario, $550, negative $1,600, somehow you manage to be able to get $600 rent and you get 4.8% yield, you're getting about negative $1,500 cash flow per month. This is the reality of investing in Melbourne in 2025. Now, is that all doom and gloom? No, because the goal is capital growth. That's our main aim, right? And if you put a bigger deposit, that loss will become smaller as well. It'll be negative at a 20% deposit, it's around $1,100. Or if I put $550 again, it's around $1,300 loss. That is the reality of investing in property in Melbourne in 2025, especially when you go to those higher price points like St. Albans. They don't have the best yields. Carrum Downs has a little bit better, maybe around 4%, but St. Albans around 3.5%. Meadow Heights, the North Melbourne area up here, has a better yield around 4.5%. So you need to be very strategic about which locations you buy into. Make sure you can stomach the cash flow loss. Now, there is still a flip side to this, and I want to talk about that. And just before I do go into it, if you have not already, make sure you jump into the private community. We are almost at 200 members. It's $35 a month. It's an absolute no-brainer. This community access does come as part of the Property Blueprint Education Program, which you'll get 6 months access to the community for free if you purchase it. It's a no-brainer, guys. I give you so much help for such little return. You need to jump in. It's an amazing resource. There's amazing members in the community. There are amazing contributors. You are missing out. I'm telling you, you are missing out if you are not part of it. We were talking about these Melbourne locations 4 months ago when other buyers and mortgage brokers weren't talking about it till a month ago. So make sure you jump in. What is the flip side to this? The flip side is when we look at the capital growth part of it, the capital growth projector side of it. And in a similar vein, I'm going to put similar numbers. I had 6.5% interest rate. Let's say we put a 12% deposit because most people don't have 20%. 12% deposit, $650,000. I'm going to assume the capital growth over the next 3 years is going to be roughly 7% or around 21% over the next 3 years in Melbourne, theoretically, and a rental growth of 3%. My initial rent is $550, and so my mortgage per year is around $37,000 in interest payments. Now, just to understand this cash flow does not take into account any of these expenses, right? So you still have a lot of these expenses which are not taken account of except the mortgage repayments. And when we start to look at this, our net position is going to be anywhere from about $100,000 to $120,000 over the next 3 years, despite the negative cash flow, right? We will have about $100,000 net position after all the losses of the cash flow. And say Melbourne grows even stronger and we get about 10% return every single year, averaged out over 3 years, and we'll be in a higher net position around $200,000. Say we start with a small rent base, it's about a $10,000 difference as well. Now, this is the power of investing, right? If we invest into the right locations, we will get our money back in the form of capital growth, in the form of equity. But the reality is that is not talked about is that we have to stomach this loss every single month for the next 3 years. That loss will get smaller and smaller as rents go up and interest rates go down. Today in Melbourne, this is what you need to expect. And if you aren't ready for this reality, then don't invest. There is no risk, there is no reward without risk. So you will have to stomach this risk for this reward, this potential reward. And that is if Melbourne grows by 30%. If Melbourne doesn't grow by 30% over the next 3 years and only grows by 15%, we will still be in the positive, or just about in the positive if we account for these losses as well. And so I hope this video has given you a real insight into what investing into Melbourne is like, right? If you cannot stomach 3 to 4.5% yields, then you need to look at different locations which have a better base for you to invest in terms of higher yields. But there is still great opportunity in Melbourne if you can stomach the negative cash flow, right? And if you have not already, talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your accountant about the cost, the implications of holding property in Melbourne. I hope that has helped you. And if you have any concerns, any questions at all, jump into the private community. I am here to help you guys. That is my goal. Till next time, thank you.